Hello, everyone. It's good to have you today. I believe you all are doing good. I believe you all are doing fine. Welcome to the website design training we've all been anticipating for. So sorry yesterday because we had a network issue, and I even believe today, I trust that our network is going to be okay because I'm beginning to see some little glitch. Although I wouldn't know what your opinion might really be, probably maybe I should just go ahead and just do the video, then upload for everyone to watch if the network do not really want us to actually get this thing done. But notwithstanding, we stand for it and we will get it done. All right, so my own name is Johnson Toluwane. I am the principal partner of Metals Media, and together we are going to learn a lot here. I'm going to be your instructor from the beginning of this course to the end of it. All right, so without much ado, I would like you to know that Metas Media was actually the sponsor of this program with collaboration with a GPL plugin team. So, right from what we have to do, Ometas Media is a company that actually deals with website development, website design, design, and we have some other IT solutions that are into. And of course, GPL plugin teams, they are into GPL licensed WordPress plugins and themes and PHP scripts and mobile applications as you might think of. So without much ado, we need to really just go straight into what we have to do since we couldn't do the class yesterday. So sorry about that again. So I believe everything is supposed to work well today, and I so much believe and trust God for that. All right, so having said that, there are some certain things that we really need to know because at the end of this class, we should be able to know how to build any content management website. Of course, we're using WordPress, how to set up a domain and hosting and transfer your website online, okay, to the live server. So these are part of the things that we really work on. And for this class, the first thing we are actually going to do is we're going to be looking at the introductory part of what a website is. Okay, we're going to be looking at the introductory part of the website. So we're going to be looking at the basic website design. Then probably, if time will permit us, we would go into installation and setting up for our what is it called, our local server for us to begin all of this stuff. So let's dive into it. So to start first, I would want to beg your indulgence in the Telegram group that was created. There was this course synopsis that was dropped in there. Have you downloaded yours so we could follow together? So that if I'm missing anything out, you could probably point it in the group. So when I see it, maybe next time when we meet in the class, we'll just continue and go up with it. All right. So let's continue. Let's go on with the class proper. All right. So with what we have here, we can see that we have free web design. This is another course we're going to be working with actually. This is a production. This is a script or kind of that we're going to be working with. So the first on our list is introduction to website. I believe many of you know what a website is. Although this class is meant to target the beginners, yes, but I don't want to believe there is no one that wouldn't know what a website is. But if in a case we ask someone what is the website? They will say a website is www.something.com or whatever. Yes, you are not far away from it, yes, but website in its own way means something. It serves some particular purpose, and these are some of these things we're going to look into before we set in to do our setup for the class. All right, so we are going to be looking in onto what a website is. We're going to be looking at the definition. We're going to be looking at its purpose. We're going to be looking at the overview of how it actually functions. Okay, so in this introductory part of this course, it is expected of us to have an understanding of what websites are, their purpose, and how they function. Websites are actually very crucial. Yes, they are very crucial because in today's world, if you don't have a website, I don't know what you're doing because it actually is a lot of things for you. Yes, you can quote me right. It actually is a lot of things for you. You could imagine having a website where you sell products, and while you sleep, people in other time zones are buying stuff from the products while you are asleep. You could see how essential that is. Websites could help you to reach a wider audience of people without you physically being there. So that is one thing a website does. So we are going to be looking into the overview of what a website is. Okay. So looking at the definition, a website is a collection of interconnected web pages hosted on a web server, accessible via the internet. Yes, a website is accessible via the internet. These are some of these things that we really need to know. If there is no internet, there is no way your website could work. But in this course, I'm going to show you how you could set up your local server that will kind of simulate an internet. You understand? It will simulate the internet and how you could get this thing flowing without you being on the internet in the actual sense. Okay. So we are going to be looking at the purpose. Website can be very widely in purpose, you know, from providing information about businesses, organizations, or individuals to offering services, selling products, or hosting multimedia content, like I've just explained earlier. You know, that is one of the things that a website actually does. So, looking at the overview of a website operates on a client server model. Yes, client server model where web browsers, that is the client. Now I'm trying to differentiate, I'm trying to explain the web server, the client server model. Okay, so the client, that is your browser, which you impute the address you are trying to visit. Okay, and the server where the website you are trying to visit is hosted. Okay, so this is how they actually work, and the internet being in the middle connects both your browser, which is the client, and the web server, which is where the content you're trying to view. Okay, so how it actually works is this: from your browser, when you enter in the address you are trying to view, although when we get to domains and hosting, I believe you would understand better. Okay, so when you enter your address in the address bar of your browser does a request to the server via the internet. And once it gets to the server, the return of what it's able to get from the server is what is being rendered on your browser. And that is what you see. It's just like someone who travels down somewhere, and at the point where you got to where you're going, you carried everything up, like you whatever you were looking for. Actually, you get to display all of it. So that is the primary function of your browser. It renders your hypertext markup language, which is your HTML, into what can be easily understandable by human. That is you and I. Okay. All right. So looking at the components, the web pages are typically created using HTML, hypertext markup language, HTML. And for structuring, there is what we call CSS. That is the cascading style sheet. Now, for every website you see out there, there is an element of HTML, okay? And there is an element of CSS, all right? So the CSS makes the website looks beautiful. It's just like, let's look at it from this angle. You have the HTML, which is the skeleton, and the CSS, which is should I say, the cloth, the body, you understand? Your body, the cloth that you put on, you understand? So that is what the CSS is all about for representation, okay? And may include server-side scripting languages like JavaScript for interactive elements, okay? Now, as we proceed, I'm going to be unfolding some things about the website for you, okay? So now, these are some of these things that we really need to know. Understanding the purpose of a website, which is very crucial for designing its structure and content effectively. All right. So these are some of these things we really need to know, not just about knowing what a website is, how to actually come up with what a website is particularly. So these are some of the things we are going to be looking at. Okay. All right. So I think we've talked about the meaning of a website. So we're going to be looking at the brief origin of a website. Yes, I know many of you might want me to skip this part, but I think it is very essential to know where the website is coming from, where we are, and where we are going to. Okay. As of 1991, when the first website was launched, okay, I believe you can see that on the screen. As of 1991, when the first website was launched, so we have a kind of a static website. Let me just put it that way. Static website. Static website is you write your language, you write everything you wanted to do, you wanted to post on your web host, you write everything in HTML, then you apply the CSS to give it beauty. You understand? Then you put it there. There is no interaction. People just go to that site and they actually just see everything you put in there. All right. I'm going to be showing us an example of what I mean when we talk about when we're talking about uh, when we're talking about a static website. All right, so let's go to this website here. I believe you can see the screen. So I'm going to go to my website. Okay, let me just do www.ometasmedia.com.ng. All right, so while it's going, let's just go back to our course. Okay, I think it's loading already. So this is going to be an example of what a static website looks like. Okay, this is going to show you an example of what a static website actually looks like. So every information here is basically HTML and CSS. Of course, there are some little, you could see the website. Of course, there are some little JavaScript inside of this. So this is a static website. Today, tomorrow, it's still going to remain this way. No information would be changed. Okay? There is no information that is going to be changed here. You understand? So, but when we're talking about dynamic websites, we are actually looking into dynamism of a website, the interactive ability of a website. You understand? So when you visit a website and you were actually doing something that is different from what another person is actually doing at the time they visited the website. So that makes it so dynamic. Now, looking at this website you see here, if 100,000 people are visiting the same website, they're going to see the same thing here. So that is what a static website means. Okay, this is what it means to have a static website. But when we're talking about dynamic websites, okay, so we could actually say Facebook is a dynamic website because each time you log into Facebook, what you see is totally different from every other users using the same Facebook. I believe you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's go back to our course. So within the course of time, a lot of people were trying to like they were putting things into function, and before you know it, then they came up with dynamic website. That was around 1993. All right. So in the stage three of it, that was around 96. The first Flash website came up. You see how they are gradually going up. The dynamism now is introducing the Flash. I don't know if many of you played some games on the internet. That should be around in the 90s, in the 2000s, early 2000s or thereabouts, or the mid 2000s. There are some games that actually use the Flash. They actually use Adobe Flash to actually run. You understand? So this website actually came up in the 96. Then from there, content management, which is the stage four, the content management and web editors now started to come in. That is around 2000s. Okay, so around 2000s, all of these things were beginning to emerge. The content management system, I think WordPress was part of them. There's some other content management system that we could actually see. There is Drupal, there is Magenta, and all of that. I think all of those ones later came up later on. Okay, so the stage 5 actually talks about the era of responsive websites. Now, when we're talking about responsive websites, you know, responsive websites in its sense actually, uh, when you visit a web page, there is a way it would be rendered to you on uh, on the screen. Okay. Now, when you get to another little device, maybe like a tablet, the way it's going to be rendered is going to be a little bit different. Okay. I think I have a picture for that. Let me see. I'm not really too very sure. I think I have a picture for that. Let me just hurry up and just go through some of these things. Now, yeah, you could actually. Okay, when we get there, though, we're going to see more. But I believe you understand what I'm actually trying to say. Okay, so this website, the way it's going to look on the web browser would be different from the way it's going to look on a tablet. It's going to be different from when it's going to when it's going to be rendered on a mobile device. Okay, so these are the things we really need to understand so that by the time we start building websites in no time. Well, by the time we start working on some of these things, you would understand better why we need to make a website very responsive. Okay. So now in the 2009, that's the stage 6, website templates beginning to come up. Now people beginning to diverge into building templates. You see people buying themes, see people buying all sort of templates to build their website. Someone would have just done the work for you. All you just need to do is just pay them, you get a template, you make some adjustments, and you are good to go. So that is how some of these things were coming up. Then by 2013, that is the stage 7, website page builders begin to come up. I think before the end of this course, I'm going to show us one website page builders. Okay, uh, within the course of this training, we're going to be making use of Elementor. There are several of them outside there. There is Gutenberg, there is Elementor, there is a JS Composer. There are so many of them, depending on how you find them easy to use. So this page builders allows you to do what is called drag and drop. You understand? There are some predefined system that has been placed in some of these page builders. So what it does is when you drag them and drop, okay, you've actually written the HTML and the CSS attributed to such elements. You understand that it's attributed to such elements. So when you drag and drop, it automatically just writes the HTML codes and all of that. You understand? So the cost of this website is actually to enable you understand more about the HTML, CSS, and how they function, because it would be of no value when you understand how to do the content management system on how to design website with content management system, and you wouldn't know the nitty-gritty or what happens at the back end. All right. So let's proceed. The stage where we are now is create and design website content. Yes, now, this stage where we are now, you could see a lot of crazy website out there. Yes, I would use that word crazy because, man, when you see the work people display, you'll be marveled, you'll be surprised because there are so many websites now. The race of website has revolutionized from being static to dynamic, and even in this dynamism of the website, you see some website the way they function, some website tends to understand you better. We have AIs now and all of that. So all of these things actually were just to prepare your mind on what this is all about. Okay. So in the next slide, we're going to see how a website work, like I explained. So this is the diagram. This is the diagram annotation for it. You can see the user here, and this is the website. Okay. So there's a request and a response which your browser does for you. Okay. Now the data is on the main server. All right. So the data which is on the main server is being requested through the DNS server. That is the domain name server. Okay. So the domain name now, the domain name, as the name implies, when you enter, like my website now, when I enter ometasmedia.com.ng, it is a domain name. Okay. But the server does not understand that name. I hope you understand that the server does not really understand that name as ometasmedia.com.ng. What the server understands is in numbers. I believe many of you know that computer functions in ones and zeros. All right. So all the server understand is in IP address. You understand? So they call them internet protocols. These are IP addresses that computer understands. So each IP addresses are unique. So when we get to domain and hosting, you would understand better. So in summary, the Web 1, which is the early websites, were static and primary. They are text-based, serving online brochures or information repositories. Sorry for that. All right, so the Web 2, that is the emergence of a dynamic website with user-generated content. You know, we have social media platform, we have interactive web applications. There's a website where you go there, you play games. You could understand that. So that shows how dynamic a website can actually be. All right. So the Web 3, which is the 3.0 and beyond where we are now, the current trend includes semantic website technology. Man, semantic website technology. There are so many technologies. There was a website I saw one time. The website reacts and it responds to your mouse. You could understand or you could see how a website could actually respond to your mouse. You know, maybe you have an image, you have a 3D image, and while your mouse is moving in the direction of your pointer, these images are moving. So that is how crazy websites are really going now. Okay, so all of these things you could actually refer back to the synopsis that was dropped for you. Please do go back to it and read so you could have a very good understanding. So before our time goes off today, we would actually do some explanation. But before then, I would really want you to understand what domain and hosting actually means. So with time, you would actually be registering on a domain name. You would actually be registering on a hosting. So with time, just get your mind set because with time you're going to do these things yourself. It's it's quite amazing. It's really really amazing. Please just pay your attention. And I believe if you have one question or the other, just do place it inside the group. We would address some of these questions at each time that we meet. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead to the domain and hosting. All right, a domain name is the address where internet users can access your website. That is what a domain name means. And you could see an example of a domain name. Google.com is a domain name. All right, so inside of in this domain name, there are some parts that we have here, but with time, I'm going to be explaining some of this parts for us. I know many of you don't want to be patient, you just want us to just go deep into it and you know but just don't worry, okay? We'll get there and we'll do all of these things one after the other. All right. This is a free this is a free class. You are not meant to pay anybody. Of course, maybe with some as we proceed, there's some certain things you might need to just buy outside to enhance your knowledge, to enhance your skills. You can just try that. And that I think that is where GPL plugin teams has come to play because with this GPL plugin teams, yeah, whatever you intended to buy, probably it will be given to you at a subsidized rate because of this training program. So it will be 20% off. All right, so enough of marketing, sorry. So let's just go on to what we have here. Okay, so you could see example of this domain. You could see example of this domain. You could see something is different here. You have .com.ng here. We have .com here. There are several websites that you could see this example. We have .gov here. We have .ee. You have .co.uk. All of these things are TLD. Okay, they are kind of extensions that all of these things actually mean something. Yes, they actually mean something. So let's look at a scenario. You have a client that meets up with you and said, you know, I wanted a website. I needed you to advise me on what kind of website and to build and all of that. So how would you do that? From the beginning, you need to know the niche the person actually is going. Maybe the person is going into marketing, maybe it's the kind of corporate stuff, or maybe it's something that you really needed to do, maybe for corporate, maybe for portfolio, maybe for blog or whatever. There are several kinds of website out there, you understand? So that is where it comes in. So I will be explaining maybe later on, I'll be explaining some of these some of these extensions for you. The .com, what it means, the .org, what it means, and all of that. So the .com actually means like kind of a company. The .org signifies it signifies what is it called, organization. Do you understand? So like this one we have .com.ng here is actually specifying a company in Nigeria. You understand? So some you could have .com, .uk, .com, .gh. That is a company in Ghana. So that is what part of the things we'll get to do. So tips for choosing a domain name. One of the things you need to know in choosing a domain name, you have to keep it short. The reason why you have to keep it short is because you want your clients or you want your users to actually get something that is very easy for them to remember. You keep it short, so very short. There are sometimes you see some websites, abc.com, very short, very concise. So these are part of the things you do. Several people actually choose their websites from acronym. Yes, from acronyms. Some use abbreviations to signify their websites. Okay, so these are part of the things that you really need to know. It is very important and very relevant. You could just imagine maybe someone having a company as maybe let's say uh, Mr. Okay and Son Integrated Company, and you just want to do it Okay and Son Integrated Company.com. Man, who is going to remember all of that? So, but when you abbreviate or when you shorten it into something, Okay and Sons or Okay Sons, you understand? You just have something. I believe you understand some of this. So, a domain name is a unique address that identifies a website on the internet. It It typically consists of a name. Example, you understand? Example of a domain name, like I just explained earlier. So, in choosing a domain name, the relevance, the availability is another thing you really need to know. When you are trying to choose a domain name, it is very important for you to check if that domain is available or someone else has taken it. Yes, you might have a name in mind, someone else might also have such name in mind too. So, part of the things you really need to do is to check if that website is available. If it's available, it will be indicated. Within the course of this training, we are going to get to that part where we'll be doing a live domain registration and hosting and all of that. Don't worry. I'm just trying to paraphrase all we have here so we could just have this class as the case may be. Okay. So, looking at all of this again, domain name serves as the online identity of the website and it plays a crucial role in branding and online presence. Yes, like I said earlier, your website represents you. Your website gets to where you could never reach. You could imagine you being in Nigeria and your website is being visited or viewed in America. So whatever information that you needed to reach out to any persons out there, is already on your web host, and for them to reach it, they could get all of these things without physically asking you or reaching out to you. So these are one of the importance of having a website. So we're looking at the web hosting on the other hand, okay? The web hosting on the other hand. So the web hosting actually is a service that allow organizations and individuals to post a website on the internet. Like I said, look at web hosting as a bucket. Okay, you look at the web hosting as a bucket where you drop all your things. Then you put this bucket outside in the public where people can actually go there and see the things you have in the bucket. So let's see it that way. Your web hosting is actually an imaginary space on the server. You understand? So when you get to hosting companies and all of that, and you get to register with them, you pay, and they serve you some amount of space for you to access and put your stuff, your web materials and all of that. You put it there, then you get the domain which points to that location. You understand? So another way a domain actually is a pointer, is an address that points to to the bucket now, to the point to the bucket in essence. Okay, so that is just what the web hosting is all about. So there are several type of web hosting depending on what project you're trying to work on. Yes, type of web hosting. We have shared hosting. There is VPS, that's a private, virtual private network. Okay, so we have the VPS hosting, we have the dedicated hosting. Now, with this dedicated hosting, what makes it different from the shared hosting? Okay, let me start from the shared hosting. The shared hosting is actually a space. It's a very chunk, it's a very large space that is being divided. Let's take a market for an example. You have a block of a market store that has several rooms or several space where individuals can actually rent out. But in its essence, that particular block of a building in the market, let's see it as a shared hosting. Okay, we see that a shared hosting. So everybody takes their part accordingly. You understand? So that of the VPS hosting is a little bit more different. Now you would be having, how do I put it now? You'll be having your own like a private kind of a system. So let's say the first one, which is the share hosting, is being shared with a lot of people. Okay. Now this VPS is more or less your own private, but you are still restricted. Yes, there are still some restrictions. Then the dedicated hosting also is similar to that of the VPS. The dedicated hosting has some resources. It's just like a computer. It's just in an essence having a computer in the hosting. You understand that there you would see the amount of RAM, the amount of CPU, the clock speed that will be given to you depending on the kind of project you were trying to work with. And there is another one which is the cloud hosting. This cloud hosting, I would say, is the fastest of them all. Yes, the fastest of them all. Is also an imaginary space, just like the way your cloud is hanging there in the sky. That is how it is. Now, the cloud hosting, when it comes to cloud hosting, each of the company providing this hosting, they have several servers in different continents. Let me put it that way. So this service enables your hosted website to actually reach out to everybody in the globe. A website thing is a global thing. You understand? So, for example, let's say someone is trying to reach out to your website, someone in America is trying to reach out to your website, you uploaded here in Nigeria. So, of course, your web hosting would make it possible for your website to be distributed among where every locations the hosting has been placed. Okay. So, for someone who is trying to visit your website in America, instead of reaching out for a web hosting here in Nigeria, for example, the server would actually try to analyze where the person is actually coming from. You understand? Every computer has their IP address, which is signifying their locations. I believe you know that. For those that actually know that, and for those that don't know that, please you get that today. Okay, so the dedicated server hosting, entire server resources dedicated to a single website. You understand? So this is one of the differences. Okay. So with me here, if you check the notes I dropped for everyone, the cloud hosting is a scalable hosting solution based on cloud infrastructure. So there are several cloud infrastructures that has been put in place to ensure the smooth running of your website. Now, what are the things that is needed to consider when looking at hosting your website? Some of the things that is needed are: one, you need to take a look at the performance. The second is you need to take a look at the support. Then the third one is the scalability. That is the scalability. Now, the first one, you need to evaluate, you need to understand the factor like the server time, the speed, and the reliability. How reliable the server is. You understand? There are some websites you visit, the startup time, the time it takes for such website to load are kind of very slow. There's some websites you load, the moment you hit enter on your system, it's already there. So this actually deals with performance. Okay. Now another thing again, there's some website that has a 99% uptime. There's some website that does not. There are some servers, sorry, that does not really have up to that uptime. Now there are several servers that once you host your website with them, even if they have a maintenance, they know how to get this this stuff done that it wouldn't affect your website. So these are some of the things you really need to put into consideration. Why am I explaining this? Because I know every one of you with several aim of knowing how to build a website, you would actually get out there in the public, you will take contracts and all of that. So this is where it starts from. Please take it so very important. All right. So we're looking at the support aspects. Should in case there's a problem, how are you going to who is going to respond to you, and how fast are they going to respond to you? So these are other things that you really need to look into. There is this web host that I registered with some time ago, and they are so good to the extent that the moment I send them a message, it doesn't take time. They respond to me very fast. They're very swift in responding to me. And these are the things we're actually looking at. So the scalability aspect of it, the resources, when your website starts growing, how easy can you expand? For example, maybe you have a 1 gig web hosting space, for example, and maybe your website begins to get enlarged. You wanted to add some more functionalities and some other things into your website. You should be able to expand easily, like reaching out to your host. Okay, I want to migrate to the next package. You understand? From one package to another. So these are some of the things you're going to know, you're going to see. So when we get there, where we are practically doing that, you would understand better. So because of our time, let's just hurry up and just go. So this is how a web hosting works. This is the website user. This is the internet, the server, and the web files. So the web files are in your web files, they are, which you're going to be uploading as time goes on. When we start building website, I'm just trying to take this thing step by step so that by the time we start building websites, okay, at the end of our website, I'm just going to show us how you could actually upload this thing. So the files you will be uploading to the web server, that is actually your website. Okay, so the files will be uploaded to the web server, which is your web host. Okay, now via the internet, the web host makes it available on the internet for anybody to reach. Okay, the web hosting is the service that makes the website accessible to the public. Okay, like we just explained. And when you sign up for a website, use this rented space on a physical server to store. You understand? So there is a physical server. You understand? I think that's a shared server. So there's a physical server. That's what differentiates the cloud. Cloud is actually a kind of a virtual server. You don't need to physically see it. You understand? So that is the difference between some of it. So the website user via the internet links up with the web server via the domain name. The domain name, like I explained earlier, is a unique identity that reaches out to the web server. So on reaching the web server, this web server actually knows what you're actually looking for. So the moment it gets to the web server, it just points it to your files. So your files becomes visible on the internet. All right, so building a website. So before we get to building a website, okay, I will just need to quickly explain some little things to us. But this is going to be for the next class, probably tomorrow. Then that is when we're going to start to look at how we could actually build our website. So without running so much, I would be starting to doing some installations. Okay, from the messages I sent into the group, you could actually see some of the things that is required of us to do, which is our local server. We have Windows users, we have Mac users, and we have Linux users. So I actually had to change my preference because for me, I really love to make use of Laragon as my own local server because of its simplicity and straight to work kind of a thing. But in this context, because of the other users, so we had to adjust a little bit. Okay, we had to adjust to carry everybody along. So we'll be using a XAMPP server. Okay, the actually has a mini, it has a combination of that's a combination of PHP as a combination. Don't worry, when we get there, you got to see it. So we'll be using a XAMPP server. Okay. So before we go to doing our installation, some key takeaways that we really need to know is domain names. You need to make it memorable. Yeah, memorable. Okay. You need to make it relevant and it should reflect your brand or business. Another thing, which is the web hosting. These are the two major things that putting your website up there really requires of you. Okay, selecting your hosting provider. I'll put something together with time. I'm going to drop some of this link so we could actually register and get familiarized with some of these things. Okay. So selecting a hosting provider and type that meets your website performance. Okay. So for it to be very easy for everyone of us, I've actually tried to put some things together in terms of hosting, in terms of domain. So with time, I'm just going to be dropping it in the Telegram group. So please just hold on to the group because several informations are going to be there. Okay. So let's proceed. All right. So this time I'm going to be installing the I'm going to be installing the local server. So that is one essential thing that you need to work offline. You can actually do it online, but for easy working, we just got to do it that way. So I'm going to be doing that right away. Okay, so let's just hold on while we get this done. The training. So the training tools. Okay, here are the training tools. I believe every one of you have downloaded the local server. I believe every one of you have downloaded some of the other things that are needed. Please, it's very, very essential. So all of those ones that are downloaded, do ensure to install them. Okay, I've installed mine. Okay, let me take a look at that and see. Let me see that. That's XAMPP. Okay, so this is my own XAMPP server. So all you need to do is just get it open this way. Okay, get it open this way, and you start to run it. You double click, and you run the file. All right. So once the file opens up, then you give it access to continue. So where it's going to be installed, it's actually supposed to be installed outside your drive, your main drive. It's not supposed to be inside the program. Yeah, it's not supposed to be inside the program. It's supposed to be outside. I will explain what that really means to you. Let me just show you that. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. Inside your C drive, it's not going to be inside your program files. All right, for every one of you so it's going to be outside, like you can see mine here. Okay, it's just going to be outside here. So that is where it's going to be. So I've installed mine. So just go on with this next to get it done. You just take it up from there, and that's obviously it's not something that is actually hard. All right, so I'm going to cancel mine because I've already installed it. So do well to install. If you have any issue, you could just bring it to the group, and I'll give you maybe pictures or some other uh, clues to having it installed in your computer. So having installed mine, I'm going to open it. Okay, I believe every one of you should be able to do that. For Linux users, there are some command prompts that you might really need to make use of. I will try as much as possible to make that available for you. Okay, so just follow up with us. All right. So this is what we'll be using. So we have the Apache. Okay, from that name XAMPP, that A is actually the Apache. Yes. All right. So uh, we're going to start the Apache. We're going to start the MySQL. You understand? That is your database. We're going to start the MySQL. So these are the major two things that we really need to start up when getting this done. All right. So you might be prompted to do something like this. So please just allow. Okay. Just allow it, and then there we go. So just follow up as we get this done. Okay. It's quite very simple. So while this is actually waiting, you should have your WordPress somewhere. Okay, you should have your WordPress somewhere. So what we're going to do now, we're going to open this admin. You can see the local host dashboard is opening here. All right. So this is just it. So one way to access your to access the website you're going to work with is this. The elementary part of it is to enter local hosts. When you enter local host like this, it brings you here. All right, it brings you to the dashboard. So I'm going to show you how exactly we're going to navigate some other things. So you go to where your files is installed. You go to where it's installed. In the case of mine is in a XAMPP folder. Sorry, excuse me for that. Mine is in a XAMPP folder here, and you're going to open it up. You're going to locate a place where it is written HTTP. That is where HT docs. Sorry. So this HT docs is where we're going to install. That is where we're going to install our website. Okay. All right. Coming. Just hold on, please. Okay. Okay. So now, in reaching out to your website, the name of your website is actually going to be the folder. You're going to create a folder here. So in a folder, we will say ometers, all in lower case, please. Everything is going to be in lower case. Please, it's very, very important, okay? So you're going to create a folder, then you would open the WordPress that was downloaded. I think I provided the link also. So if you just go to the WordPress, you're going to extract the content of that WordPress. It's going to be a zip file. You're going to extract that content to go to extract it into that folder that was created. Okay, so that is what we are trying to do here now. All right. I don't seem to have mine here. Okay, let me just quickly go look for it. So WordPress. So for WordPress, let me just quickly look in for it. Not seeing it yet. Okay, just yeah. So the essence of all of this is just the WordPress that you have. You're going to extract it into that folder that was created. Okay. So sorry, I should have got this prepared earlier, but I was actually dealing with the network that has refused us to hold our class yesterday. All right. So don't worry, this video is going to be available. Like I said, it's going to be available for everybody. All right. So if that doesn't go, I think I might need to just download the WordPress. Let me just quickly download it. You can also download it at wordpress.org/downloads. All right. So I'm just going to download WordPress 6.6. All right. Whichever version that you have there, it does not really matter. It's still good to go. Okay. So let me just quickly get this downloaded. Then continue. Like I said, you extract it into the folder. If you have any issues with that, I could help out. You reach out to me. It's fine. I think somewhere in the group I have my WhatsApp line there, so you could just reach out. Okay. So having get this downloaded, we're going to extract it, like I said. So it's still downloading while that is being done. Let me just share this quickly with you. This simple website we're looking at, with time we're going to be working on the project. That's going to be a Netflix website. You could actually check the Netflix website. We're going to reproduce that. We're going to do something similar to that. Okay. And maybe after this class, I don't know, I might actually come up with something. Maybe we might just move to maybe building an e-commerce website. Maybe that would be 2.0. I'm going to be posting a poll in the group. Please do well to respond to it. Do well to respond to it, please. So that poll would really encourage me on what to do. Okay, maybe we should just go to intermediate or the advanced class directly, working with strictly codes and all of that. But we're still just going to finish this off. So I'm opening what I just downloaded. Okay. So having this opened, I told you you're going to extract it, right? You're going to extract. I'm going to open with WinRAR. That is what I will encourage you. When you open it with WinRAR, it actually makes your work very fast. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to highlight all of this and I'm going to extract it to that location. You understand? To that same location that I created earlier. So this is our drive. I'm going to open that drive. Then I wouldn't know. I might just have to edit this video so that you could actually see very well. But it's something you can actually pause and take off like that. You understand? So it's something that we could actually make workable. Okay. All right. So if you have your question, you can actually drop the questions. I will answer your questions once it's time to start answering questions. Please just bear with us. Okay. So where is the folder? This is the XAMPP folder. Okay. So I will open the XAMPP folder. Open the XAMPP folder and go to htdocs. Okay. Then inside the htdocs, this is the omitters folder which I created. So I select it and say okay. Then it's going to extract everything. The reason why I'm using WinRAR is because it makes the work faster. If you use your Windows default, what is it called? Default um, extraction, it's going to take a little while. So that's why WinRAR um, is actually advised for you to make this done. Okay. So I'm going to close this because everything has been extracted. So the next point of action to do is to, I told you earlier, localhost is the major stuff. So when I say localhost, uh, and the name of that folder, meters, supposed to bring something like this. Okay, so we can see the WordPress here, right? So we need to go back and check that same page. Okay, something is happening there. It's not supposed to show up the way it's coming up. So let's go back to that same folder, the meters folder. Your own name can actually be whatever you wanted. Okay, so go back to that same folder. Go back to that XAMPP folder. Then we go to htdocs. From htdocs, then we go to omitters. Sorry for that. Go to omitters. That is the name of my own folder. You could name yours anything that you could actually make use of. Okay, so you could see WordPress is here. So it's not supposed to be in a WordPress like this. It's supposed to open everything inside of this place. So I'm going to cut it. I will go back and I will paste it here. Okay, so that is the way it works. What is this interruption again? Oops. Okay. Oops. Oops. Let me just cancel it and get it done again. Whoa. Okay, all of these are actually moved. Okay, let me just do this. Since these ones do not really want to move, I'll just copy it because we've opened it the other time. I guess that was the reason why it does not want to. So we just get it copied, and at the end of the day, we'll delete this WordPress folder, so we can just kick off from there. All right. So we've copied this. Is it copied yet? Okay, still copying. All right. So all right, all right, all right, all right. It's a little bit slow because that file consists of a lot of things there. So just be a little bit patient. We'll get it done, okay? We'll get it done. Okay. Okay, it's almost there. It's almost there. It's almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. And there we go. So I'm just going to delete the this other folder. So the essence of what I was trying to explain to you is that in the htdocs folder, the name of the website you want to create using the local server, that is what you're going to name the folder there. Okay, so that is what you're going to name the folder. And once you're done with that, so this is the htdocs. Just to remind you again, that's why I'm really going over this so you understand. So this is the name of our website, all right? So everything that is just going to be will be the file inside the WordPress folder you downloaded, okay? So that is what is going to be. So you now come to your browser, you enter localhost slash the name of the folder, which is supposed to be the name of the website. So in our case here, we have Ometas, all right? So when I click Ometa, it's supposed to show you the installation page of the website. That is what we're supposed to have. Okay, so it's trying to access the file, it's trying to look through the file and get it started. So let's just hold on for it a little. Okay, we're almost there. But before you get to that point, always ensure the Apache and the MySQL is open. These are the things that actually helps your website to run on local capacity. Okay, these are actually the things. So when it comes to the configuration, you don't really have much to do when it comes to the configuration, but this is mainly what you really need to do. So the configuration actually entails maybe the database, you know, giving the database a name or something, you understand. So that is just what it's all about. Okay, I don't know why we're not having meters. Okay, now you can see this page, right? So this is the page you're supposed to see. This is the beginning of the installation of our WordPress. All right. So once we get this done, we say let's go. So in the first place, right, we need to know the database name. We need to know the username. We need to know the password, the database host, and all of that. So these are the things we're going to create in no time. Okay. So let's go back to under SQL. We go to configure. Okay, let's just actually get it done this way. We open admin under MySQL. So it's going to open us PHP my admin. So that is where we are being required to create a database. Okay, so we're going to create a database here to proceed with what we really need to do. All right. Okay. So let's just hold on. My system is having a lot of resources, even for the course of this training. All of these things are actually working on the background. That's why it's a little bit slow. Okay. So the PHP admin is actually coming up. So its own local host stuff is 127.0.0.1. Like I told you, it has a unique ID. So this is the unique ID for your local host. It's just one everywhere. So on this side, we're going to create a database, all right? Okay, so I'm just going to come to the plugin. Sorry, I think my wireless ran out of battery, so I quickly had to get it charged. All right, so I said would have the plugins installed. I believe you must have downloaded the plugin, the list of the plugins, the Elementor plugin, and some other things. Now, the question is, what is a plugin? A plugin, as the name implies, you take something from outside, you put it inside your website. Okay, these are several functionalities that enables your website to function very well. All right, so those are part of the things. Elementor is a page builder. Like I explained earlier, there are several types of page builders. You know, I would list some of them to you again. We have the Elementor. We have Elementor is the most popular one to say. We have the Gutenberg. We have uh, we have the Gutenberg. We have the Beaver. We have the JS Composer. We have BV. Depending on whichever one is kind of very easy for you. So on this place, me personally, I actually like to remove these plugins so I can get mine installed. I don't really need them. I don't know if time I get to need them. For me, I do not need them, so I take them off. Okay, I take them off. So we start the installation of our plugins. Okay, so in the plugins, you could actually get plugins here. Yes, of course, when you get plugins here, you still have to pay. And that is the more reason why maybe you have some plugins to use. And because of the prices, you need to get them directly from the developers. And that was the reason why GPL plugins comes in. Like I said, at a cheaper rate, they are clean files, they are very good. You could use it for multiple websites. Some of these ones here, you could not actually use for multiple websites and you pay more. Okay, so I'm not supposed to canvas for GPL plugins things, but all the same, let's just go on. So we come over to the plugin, upload plugin here because we have our plugin downloaded already. So we just click on upload. We click. This is where you can actually drag to this place, or you click this to choose a file. Okay, so let me open where we have our files. Okay, so we have our Elementor here. We have our Elementor here. All right, so I'm just going to do it this way. We have a header, footer Elementor. We have essential add-on for Elementor Lights. Okay, we have, okay, I think many of you do not have Elementor Pro. Elementor Pro actually gives you some professional um, advanced features. Let me just put it that way. Some advanced features that ensures that your website is more looking good. But for now, we may not be needing the Pro, but I can assure you, you will be needing the Pro. You can actually get your Pro from GPL plugin teams. Okay, so I will drag this. I will drag it. I will drag it over to this place, and I'll drop it. You can see it's already here. Then I will install it. So that's the first thing. So for this website that was built here, let's see how it looks on another page. So all you need to do to view your website is localhost and the name of the folder. Remember the folder that you created in the HP docs. Okay, so like in my own case here, I have the ometers. That's the name of the folder. So we're going to see how it's going to look on the front end. All right, this is very interesting actually. Follow, and it's very, very interesting. Trust me, it's very, very interesting. I can tell you that for free. Very interesting. So this is getting uploaded while we see how it looks at first on the front page. All right, on the front end. So we get to see how it looks here. Okay. This is actually a little bit slow, but I don't expect it to be slower on your system. Okay. I don't expect it to be slow on your system. Like I said. Okay. So, okay, so this is uploaded. This is well uploaded. So let me just go ahead and upload the other ones, the other files. So from there we can take it up. Okay. So I'll just go back to upload the other files. So the same process I uploaded the first one, that is the same process I'm going to upload the other one. Like I say, you can click and navigate to where the files actually are, or you could drag and drop whichever one. You can actually do that. So I'm going to install the essential add-on for Elementor. I'll show you some of those things. Essential add-on gives you an added advantage to what, for the fact that you don't have a pro, so it will give you an added advantage. So you could just take your time, get the pro version of it. If you want to explore, you could actually do that. It's very good. It's very good. So I'll go back again so we could see how to, we could see the other plugin. I think we have like 2 or 3 plugins to install. All right, so I'm going to install the third one. I'll click choose, then I'll go to footer header. I'm going to be explaining what these things actually do when we get there, right? So all of these are still going. You can see how our page looks. What more of a website could you have? This is the default website look of the look of a website. You understand? You know what I mean? This is a default website. The theme that came with WordPress, this is how it looks. So in our next class, I'll be explaining to us again several segments, how you can plan your website, how you can segment your website, how the website really works in a real sense, how to make it responsive. Okay, so these are part of the things we're going to look maybe tomorrow, the same time, 5 p.m. We're going to look into that also. Okay, so this is just, you see, it's just looking like a website. All right, so let's go back to our plugins. Then we'll go back to plugins, installed plugins over here. Then you can see all the plugins that were installed. Okay, I can mark all of them here. Then I have a bulk action to enable or to activate all the plugins. So I'm going to activate the 3 plugins that are here: the Elementor header, and the header and footer. So here we go. We've had all of this installed already. Okay, so if you got into this stage, I congratulate you because you've just got the first part of it. You've installed your local host server. If that was successful, then you could move on to installing your WordPress. What is your environment is the content management. You just get that one installed also. All right, so having done this, when you pass that second stage, congratulations to you again. So the third stage for you to go to is to actually get your plugins installed. And I believe you will have had a wonderful time together this evening. Sorry, pardon the network. We're actually working on how to improve the network and get things better. And this video is also recorded. I could also have it uploaded, probably worked upon and get it uploaded for easier viewing. You wouldn't have to get engaged in seeing all the little cracks and stuff and like that. So we could just get it well optimized so you could just have a smooth viewing. Okay, because I know many are still going to just watch the video. All right, so having done all of this, I believe we have done justice to the introductory part of this training. So the next class, we're actually going to be creating pages. We're going to be creating some other things that helps the website to look more beautiful. The themes, you understand, we're going to be telling you about the themes. We're going to be telling you more about the plugins. All right. So if you have any questions, please, if you have any difficulty at any point, please don't forget to drop your message in the group. The Telegram group is opened. Please do not abuse it. All right. And the last thing I'd wanted to say before I'll be telling you bye for now is that the Tech Minder is also an initiative by Ometas Media to help young tech, upcoming technologies to get acquainted to what is going outside the world and to get some certain things done at the easiest convenient time for themselves. So that is where this video is being streamed to. The videos are going to be available here also, but you will also have the link in the group to watch this video. So please do share. You could also share the flyers, let other people join, let them benefit from all of this. It's very good. It's very good. There are several people out there that are looking for people to build websites for them. And don't forget, yes, Ometas Media is there. If you have a project for us, we are there to handle your project also for you. So before I turn the curtain off, please and please just bear with us. This is just going to be the first training ever. Metas Media has never organized any training, and we thought well to have this done actually to enable some people. I know there are several people that really needed this, maybe for money, for finance, and some other stuff. They couldn't get it done. That was the reason why we came up with this initiative to get this done. There are some younger generations coming up with several things, so we try to engage them in some of these things. And I believe when you understand the nitty gritty of content management system, you know how to diversify, you would learn more. Yeah, I believe that you will learn more. So this is where we're going to stop today. Thank you for joining us and see you next